Ayubowan, Vanakkam and good day. My name is Tarak Gurukanda. I'm the host from SUNFO. If you're already here, you might have heard about SUNFO or you might know what SUNFO is about. But before I dive into what SUNFO is, let me congratulate each and every one of you. Congratulations, friends, family and colleagues. You have been selected to join with us on a wonderful journey to carry out a long process of beauty and joy. Welcome to the Youth Network. Before I dive into much of the details, let me tell you about SUNFO. SUNFO stands for Sri Lanka United Nations Friendship Organization, which is a non-political, non-racial, non-sectarian, volunteer people's organization working for peace, harmony and the well-being of mankind. According to the principles of United Nations, SUNFO was inaugurated on 22nd May 1999 under the patronage of our Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Sri Lanka and with the blessings of the United Nations Resident Coordinator. SUNFO was involved in the Millennium Development Goals, which is widely known as SDGs, through awareness and training, mobilization during the SDGs era, which was in 2000. SUNFO was able to create a difference throughout the world. SUNFO coordinated provincially, nationally, multi-stakeholders consultations in 2003 to 2015 for global goals after SDGs since 2015 September. SUNFO led actions for sustainable development goals, the agenda which was for 2030. SUNFO facilitated the formation of the SDG Citizens Network. It was also known as the SDG Citizens Forum of Sri Lanka. In 2015, which was a few years ago, SDG Women's Platform was another initiative that SUNFO took the leadership of in 2016. Now, diving into why you guys are here. The SDG Youth Network of Sri Lanka. It was started in the year 2017 and so was the SDG Children's Parliament of Sri Lanka. SUNFO initiated these two segments to empower the youth of Sri Lanka, to provide a global platform that would empower our teenagers and young adults. The SDGYNSL network comprises of volunteers who are actively involved to create a difference throughout their locality, district and neighborhood. If you're wondering what SDGYNSL is about, I could simply tell you it's a group of people willing to commit and create a global difference. SUNFO was involved in the Millennium Development Goals, widely known as SDGs, through awareness, training and mobilization during the SDG era in 2000. SUNFO coordinated provincially, nationally and through multi-stakeholder consultations in 2013 to 2015 for global development after SDGs. Since 2015 September, SUNFO led actions for sustainable development goals, which was the agenda for 2030. SUNFO facilitated the formation of SDG Citizens Forum of Sri Lanka in the year 2000. Over 1 million people around the world were involved in SUNFO conferences, programs and mobilization training and activities in the last 2 decades. SUNFO represents its members through alliance in all 7 continents of the world under the umbrella body of SUNFO Global Federation. SUNFO creates the process of SDG Action Decade Volunteer Club, SDGYNSL, Sustainable Development Goals Youth Network of Sri Lanka. This might be the first time you've heard this or you've heard it multiple times, but let me tell you a bit about what SDGYNSL is. I can simply define it as a family of young volunteers that strive to create a platform of leadership to develop their locality, their neighborhood, and their district. SDGYNSL is a concept that comes under SUNFO, an arm that works hard to strive to create a difference and to create a movement throughout Sri Lanka. Officially, SDGYNSL starts on the 12th of August 2017 on the IYD, which is the International Youth Day. But if we dive into the actual history of SDGYNSL, it starts 2 years before 2017, which is 2015, September 24th. One day before, 193 world leaders joined together at the United Nations headquarters in New York to sign the 17 Sustainable Development Goals throughout the world. This movement was celebrated in Sri Lanka on 24th of September 2015 by appointing 7 young leaders that were working together with SUNFO under SDGYNSL. If you join our training program right now, you would know what SDGYNSL is about. But in 25 districts out of 9 provinces, we would be selecting young, talented leaders to work with us to create a change. This change might be small, but it will be dynamic. Your interest towards SDGYNSL is a process in which you can learn and enrich yourself. The program is targeted towards personal development, personal enrichment, and also well-being. If you're a young individual who's already listening to us, remember that this is an opportunity that you're getting to create a difference throughout your locality. This change will empower young friends like you throughout your area to work with you, to enrich with you. SDGYNSL is a platform that remembers the 17 goals, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations. These goals will not only be a concept, but by 2030, it will be a reality. Let's face it, the world is going through a lot right now. If you look at it, locally and internationally, there are different disputes, economical crisis, and also different changes happening in the geopolitical environment. But as young adults, what can we do? It's us that will create a difference. It's our hard work and effort that will be the bright future of our world. As young adults, it's our primary responsibility to take the weight into our shoulders and to walk to the future. Now, if you look at the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, these are not just goals, but this is a lifestyle that we should practice, that we should preach, and that we should believe in. Throughout the world, we can see that this is a requirement. This is something that's essential for the young adults. For instance, we live in a world that we do not care much for the nature, but we need to understand that nature is what nurtures us as human beings. As the SDGYNSL network, the Sustainable Development Youth Network of Sri Lanka, you will be working closely with mentors, with people who are professionals in the industry, and you will learn a lot. Through this knowledge, you will empower your society, your friends, and you will also create a sustainable difference throughout the society. On the 12th of August 2017, globally, the International Youth Day was celebrated. But in Sri Lanka, SUNFO did something spectacular. At BMICH, Colombo, from the 9 provinces throughout the 25 districts, 335 divisional secretariats, one representative was selected as a youth leader to work together with SUNFO under the SDGYNSL. We gathered together at BMICH at a special assembly. At this assembly, an oath was taken. To tell you all about this oath, now as volunteers of the SDGYNSL under SUNFO, you might also someday be able to give this oath. This oath is a promise that we have to uphold. Right now, I possess the actual certificate of oath that was given on 12th of August 2017 at BMICH. Let me read it out for all of you, which will help you to get an idea about what this oath is. We, the youth of Sri Lanka, representing all provinces, all districts, and all divisional secretariat areas, voluntarily gathered on the 12th of August 2017 at the International Youth Day on the invitation of Sri Lanka's United Nations Friendship Organization, SUNFO, at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall, Colombo, Sri Lanka, also known as BMICH. The venue of the Non-Aligned Summit, World Youth Conference, Commonwealth Summit, SAARC Summit, Global Call to Action Against Poverty, GCAP Sri Lanka Conference, and many other important gatherings together declare that. Point number 1. We subscribe to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, adopted by the world leaders in September 2015 at the historic United Nations Summit. Point number 2. We endeavor to create awareness among ourselves as well as others about the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals as non-political, non-racial, non-sectarian volunteer youth movement. Point number 3, we commit ourselves to gather fellow members, fellow youth leaders to lead the process of establishing Sustainable Development Youth Councils in our representative district secretariat areas in Sri Lanka. Point number 4, we take steps to develop partnerships in the United Nations, the government of Sri Lanka, provincial councils, local authorities, society leaders, and like-minded organizations to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Point number 5 under our oath. We promise that as the youth, we will do our level best to protect the nature we inherit from our ancestors and to take all necessary steps to preserve and protect Mother Nature for future generations while committing to reach all Sustainable Development Goals together by 2030. SDGYNSL, Sustainable Development Goals Youth Network of Sri Lanka, conducted a special march, an assembly, and a cultural event on the 25th of September 2017 to commemorate the SDGs' second anniversary at the Independence Square in Sri Lanka, Colombo 7. The march submitted People's Memorandum to the Public Administration's Ministry of the Sri Lankan Government, the United Nations Office in Colombo, and the Organization of Professional Association of Sri Lanka located in Colombo 7. This walk ended with a special assembly at the Independence Hall in Colombo 7. SDGYNSL youth leaders created the Sustainable Development Goals Youth Council in a representative of the divisional secretariat areas in different parts of the island. Those councils officially were formally organized by the speakers of the Parliament of Sri Lanka on the 24th of October 2017 at a special assembly at BMICH Colombo 7. The district level youth summits were organized by SDGYNSL and the most successful summit were in the district of Nuwara and Batticaloa. A large number of SDG actions of the youth were carried out island-wide by our SDG youth leaders at a national level. The SDG anniversaries were commemorated and the International Youth Day events were organized by SDGYNSL. But let me tell you all few of these wonderful yet memorable events that were done by SDGYNSL. To start off, a commemoration was done at Mount Pidrutalagala by taking the SDG symbolically to the peak of the mountain, and an assembly was held by the youth leaders. This was a wonderful journey, a wonderful hike to Mount Pidrutalagala. A special banner, supposed to be the world's longest banner, was created at Galface Greens in Colombo. Many of the government and non-government organizations joined together with SUNFO for this special banner. Thirdly, a SDG bicycle parade and an assembly was conducted around Vihara Mahadevi Park for the International Youth Day. This was also a very eco-friendly and memorable event done by the SDGYNSL. To show our global awareness and for SDGYNSL to take one step forward, Miss Sri Lanka in Europe, multiple beauty queens from 17 European nations arrived to Sri Lanka and participated for the International Youth Day Assembly, a parade held at the Independence Square and at NAADA Auditorium. This was a global event that was done in Sri Lanka with the presence of 17 beauty queens from 17 different nations. Many youth actions related to different goals were also conducted by youth leaders, specifically at the World Environment Day, Poverty Day, and the Youth Day, World Peace Day, and World Day for Interfaith. One of the most memorable events that I would like to finally talk about is the SDG cricket tournament, which was conducted by the SDGYNSL under SUNFO. Many of these events were done in Sri Lanka. There were many people who participated at these events and created wonderful memories. This was to empower the 17 goals of the SDGs. Many of you will be able to join us and join hands together with SUNFO under the SDGYNSL. We hope that each and every one of you will join us, will create wonderful memories, and will nourish and nurture the future of Sri Lanka. We hope to see you there. Thank you.